Happy Valentine's Day. Well, that holiday, Valentine's Day, is very important to a lot of people, especially today. We think about giving flowers or chocolates, spending time going out to eat with that person who is especially our romantic partner. But, we like to talk a little bit about the background of Valentine's Day. Where does it come from? Now, that's a little bit controversial. I did some research again on Valentine's Day, and it seems to go back to a saint in the Christian church, Valentine, and he was put to death on February 14th in the year 269. That is before the Roman Empire became Christian. And this person, we only know so much about him that he was perhaps a priest back in that time. He was concerned about people. He was especially concerned about people who were soldiers. At that time, there was a decree in Rome that if you were in the army, you were not to be married. And yet people back then, like today, had a special person in their life, and they wanted to make a commitment to that person. And there was marriage. God had instituted it, not just for Christians, but for all people. And this Valentine would marry people. It was against the law, but he would do this as a service to people, especially people who were Christians. There were plenty of Christian soldiers, and they would seek this man out, and he would marry them. And soon enough, word got out to the Roman officials, and they put him to death. There's something that maybe can't say it's true, but he wrote a letter to the jailer, and especially the jailer's daughter, and at the end he signed it, "Your Valentine." Now that's about all we can say about the Christian roots of Valentine's Day. It became something else in the 14th and 15th centuries. Back at that time, February 14th was a time when people would speak about lovebirds, giving all sorts of different songs. There's a lot of study that's going on even right now about what does that mean. They knew that at that point, birds would attract each other, and they'd do it with songs, with the chirping that they would make. And then things changed further. We know how it is in America. We speak about this as a Hallmark holiday. Valentine's Day is not some kind of official day like Christmas Day or Easter Sunday or whatever the case is. But Valentine's Day has become a very big thing because people spend a lot of money on Valentine's Day in all sorts of different directions. And that's something that is especially unique here in America and throughout the world to a great degree. But one thing we like to say for sure today is that the Bible speaks to us about love. I'm going to read in a few moments from the great chapter of love, 1 Corinthians 13. Quite often we hear this reading done at the time of a wedding. It's appropriate time of the wedding, but I should say that in the context, it doesn't speak about people who are going to be married or who are married. Well, it certainly applies to that, but it applies to everyone. And we are told very clearly that love is this great virtue that is to be in the life of every person who is a follower of Christ. Other things can fade away. Faith, is really something for this world. We see things in the reality. In the next world, we see Christ face to face. Hope is something that we hope for. Heaven, we hope for the world to come, but that'll all be made concrete. But love is something that remains. And so for all of us, we read the great chapter of love, 1 Corinthians 13, and may we dwell on that, especially on this Valentine's Day, no matter what your situation is. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels and do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in parts. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. But now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.